A few summers ago, I walked out to my garden one quiet August morning. Coffee in one hand, slippers on, just looking around. And right there, under the bird bath, in a spot I never planted anything, was this beautiful little patch of flowers. Soft, purple blooms, swaying gently in the breeze like they belonged there all along. And I stood there thinking,
Wait a minute.
I didn't plant that. But the garden had all by itself. That was the day I truly discovered the magic of self-seeding perennials. Now hold on, because if you're gardening in Zone 7, especially in August, these plants can change everything. They're like little time travelers showing up year after year, exactly when you need them most, without you lifting a finger. But here's the thing. Most gardeners miss the real power of self-seeding plants, not because they're hard to grow, but because no one tells you where to look. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how I get a fuller, easier, more colorful, low-maintenance garden every August using nothing but nature's own rhythm. I still remember the first time I noticed it. There was this corner in my yard I'd kind of given up on. Dry soil, not much sunlight, honestly, just a forgotten spot behind the shed. One spring, I tossed a few seeds there, kind of half-heartedly. Didn't even think they'd grow. Fast forward to next August. I was walking past that same corner and boom, color everywhere. Yellows, soft pinks, even bees dancing around like it was their favorite place. And guess what? I hadn't planted a single thing that year. That's when it hit me. Those were the same flowers from last summer. They had reseeded themselves. No watering, no planning, just pure garden magic. That's when I realized self-seeding perennials don't just grow, they remember. And if you let them, they'll keep showing up just when your garden needs them most. So, what exactly are self-seeding perennials?
Well, they're kind of like the memory keepers of your garden.
You plant them once, just once, and if they're happy in your soil, they'll drop their seeds at the end of the season and come back the next year, all on their own. No digging. No replanting. No garden calendar reminders. They just know when to return. And what's really special is, they often come back even stronger. Like they've figured out their perfect spot and now they're ready to take over in the best way possible. You'll be walking through your garden in the middle of August, thinking it's too hot for anything new, and suddenly, there they are. Fresh blooms, unexpected color, a whole vibe. That's the beauty of August gardening in Zone 7 when you let nature do her thing. But there's one plant I always recommend to beginners. It's tough, it's stunning, and most people walk right past it at the nursery. We'll get to that in just a minute. All right, let's talk about some self-seeding heroes that truly earn their spot in a low-maintenance garden.
1. Black-eyed Susan.
The first one?
Black-eyed Susans.
These little golden suns pop up like they've been waiting all year just to say hi. I planted them along my fence 3 years ago, and now they just show up every summer like clockwork. No fertilizer, no special attention. They thrive in the heat, even when I forget to water. Here's the fun part. They'll seed themselves in the tiniest cracks, even between stepping stones. And when the light hits them in August, pure gold. 2. Columbine. The second plant I can't stop loving is columbine. It's delicate, almost whimsical, like something out of a fairy garden. I remember spotting one in my gravel path and thinking, how did that get there? Turns out, it had reseeded from a plant across the yard. They come in so many colors, and they love the shady corners most flowers ignore. Perfect for filling those tricky spots with elegance. But listen, there's one plant I almost gave up on because I thought it wasn't doing anything. And then, one August morning, it took over a whole corner of my yard in the most beautiful way. I'll tell you what it is and why it shocked me in just a minute. All right, so that surprise plant I mentioned? It's Nigella, also called love in a mist. Now I'll be honest, the first time I grew it, I thought it was just another delicate flower. Pretty sure, but nothing too exciting. But I was so wrong. Because the next August, when I had completely forgotten about it, boom! A wave of feathery green and little blue flowers popped up everywhere. Between stepping stones, in gravel, under the roses, like it had made itself at home. And here's the twist: once it blooms, it leaves behind the most beautiful seed pods. They look like little lanterns, and they reseed like magic. That's why it's one of my secret weapons for August gardening in Zone 7. Low effort, high impact, and totally beginner-friendly if you don't overlook it. Let's keep going because there are 2 more self-seeders I can't garden without. 1. Purple coneflower. This one's a classic, but don't underestimate it. Echinacea doesn't just come back, it comes back bigger. Every August, my Zone 7 garden turns into a pollinator party. Bees, butterflies, even hummingbirds swing by like it's their favorite diner. Here's a tip: let the flower heads dry out after blooming. Don't deadhead too early. The seeds inside will scatter and take root all on their own. And a bonus: the dried heads look gorgeous in the winter garden. 2. Larkspur.
Now, this one feels like garden confetti.
Larkspur pops up tall and colorful. Pinks, purples, blues, and it reseeds so freely that you'll find it blooming in places you never expected.
Scatter a few seeds in late fall, just before frost, and forget about them. Next spring, they'll wake up like they planned the whole thing. It's a cheerful surprise that keeps coming back, and it makes the whole garden feel more alive. You know, that last plant, Larkspur, it actually changed the way I garden forever. Before self-seeding perennials, I used to think gardening meant constant work. Planning, buying, planting again and again. But these plants taught me something different. If you give nature just a little trust, it gives so much back. Now, every August, my garden surprises me. Not because I worked harder, but because I worked smarter. And honestly, it feels more alive than ever. Not perfect, not controlled, just beautifully wild. And that's the kind of garden I always dreamed of. If you've never tried growing self-seeding perennials, I really hope you give at least one of these a shot. Start small, just plant one, and let it surprise you next August. And hey, if you've already got self-seeders in your garden, I'd love to hear which ones you swear by. Drop it in the comments. I always get new ideas from you all. If this video helped or inspired you even a little, like or a share would mean a lot. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. We've got plenty more gardening stories ahead. Thanks for spending time with me. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.